Hi, Margaritaville friends. It is so good to see you again. Well, I have been living here now for over 6 weeks, and I have learned a whole lot living here. We moved in July 1st. Today is August 20th. This is in 2025. The first observation is that Margaritaville is situated on a beautiful piece of land. The terrain is so pretty here, and in Margaritaville there is so much green space in this area. And so even though you might live a little bit close to your neighbor because the lots are longer and leaner than they are wide, and that's the way the houses are built, you really have so much green space to ride around in that is very beautiful. First of all, there's all of the manicured landscaped space that Margaritaville maintains itself. But much more than that is there are so many acres of preserve that you don't realize how beautiful it is until you walk around it. I don't go walking deep into it for sure, but there are some trails through and around it and around kind of the outside corners of it, including walking paths and golf cart trails, bike trails. I didn't really know those existed beyond maybe what was around the town square until I moved here. So I wanted you to know how much lovely green space there is, and that this is preserve area that won't ever be developed. And it's truly pristine, it's quiet, and it's beautiful. It's really cool in the evening, and I don't know if it's the little bit of the breeze through the preserve, but we have such warm days here in the summertime that it is a wonderful relief to get to ride a bike or walk or ride a golf cart at dusk through some of these beautiful areas and know that they're always going to be here and that you will always have a space where you can walk to just to think or walk by yourself or walk with a friend and not hear the noise of life. You'll hear a lot of noise of nature. In certain areas between the phases, the developer has built really pretty bridges so you can ride over a bridge and from one phase to another without actually even taking a street or a golf cart path. I had mentioned this in the last video, but along with this beautiful terrain and land, there are amazing sunsets every single day and a huge swath of sky like what I grew up with in New Mexico, and whoever would have known that would have been available in Florida. The skies are gorgeous and it's every single night there's something new and beautiful to see. If you really want to see the sunset over water and you didn't buy a house on a pond, you can go over to the bar and chill restaurant and go upstairs to the second floor to the Overlook Bar, which overlooks the Intercoastal Waterway, and watch gorgeous sunsets as that faces west. Okay, my second observation is that this is a really healthy community of neighbors. Like, they are big time walkers, bikers, electric bike riders, joggers, pickleball players, yoga masters. Many of them are competitive. For example, at pickleball, they're in tournaments. So many of my neighbors love the fitness center, and they are over there quite often working out on all of the wonderful fitness equipment. There also are exceptional exercise classes, but I've taken 3 of those classes, and I can tell you guys, they are very challenging. So I went to an HOA meeting that she happened to mention that there is a nurse on staff over at the fitness center. And I said, you're kidding. She said, no, she's part-time on staff and she'll help you find medical providers. She is not a nurse who diagnoses or gives shots or, this is not a minor med center, but she will help you find providers. She will help you she'll help you understand taking medicine. If you have to give yourself shots for any reason, she can show you how to do that. She helps you with, finding out, I think, where to go to find out if providers took Medicare, etc. She's really helpful. And so it is really good news that when it comes to my health, I had no problem at all scheduling appointments with doctors, problem at all, and I don't have to drive even into Panama City for any of my providers. So I am really excited to tell you guys that also down the road there's a minor med where the new hospital is going to be built, and they're already building on that facility. I just haven't had any problems, and I was kind of concerned about that. So that's good news. Okay, my third observation was just kind of analyzing all of the personalities of the people that were in my neighborhood, and they are very diverse. So you've got some people who, if you look at the personality spectrum, you would think that almost everybody who moves into Margaritaville would be, let's see, if you're looking at party people, you would think that almost everybody who lives in a Margaritaville community would be a party person, and you wouldn't find too many introverts. But there are all different kinds of personalities in this neighborhood. If you are an observer of people, you can just go to a few activities and you learn pretty quickly into what category people fall. And it's very interesting because you learn so much about different topics from all different kinds of personalities. I would say overall, these people are extremely friendly. When I was growing up out in the country and you'd pass a car on the road, everybody waved to each other, whether you knew them or not. Generally you did, but if they were driving through, you still waved to one another. Everybody waves to each other here. Even the construction workers coming in, and there's a lot of construction still down on the end of my street. Everybody waves to each other. They wave in the golf cart. They wave to Clark and call him out by name because he's becoming known in the neighborhood as the blind black lab, and he loves all the attention and makes him real happy. And people are just friendly. They're very chill. That this is a pretty non-judgmental group of people, and I love that. Pretty much it's pretty chill, and people here are pretty much live and let live. Now, the last thing I'd like to say about my neighbors is that they're really eager to help one another, and if you need anything done at all, they will jump to your aid. Alrighty, my fourth observation. Y'all, these houses do not have that much storage space. I heard someone say on Facebook that they did, but I just completely disagree. They do not. You won't find a lot of built-in shelving. If you want built-ins in your closets, that's an addition. And there just aren't things like hefty sized or even small entry closets. There aren't any extra linen closets, storage closets. There's just not much storage area. I highly recommend, if you're building a home, that you do have the pull down put into your garage and have storage space, but you can't put anything up there that can't take the heat. But there is quite a bit of space that you could put up there for storage if you need to store files. I do have some Christmas decorations up there, things like that. So the moral of this story is, get rid of your crap before you move. Don't bring a lot of stuff. I got rid of a lot of stuff and I still brought too much stuff. I don't know why. I have we get emotional attachments to our things, and I'm just saying don't bring them. And I did make a suggestion to them on my survey a few weeks ago that please add those options. So if we want an entry closet, there's a perfect space in my house for an entry closet. Do they put one there? No. They put what they call a key drop or nothing. Key drop is a shelf that you can drop your keys on as you come in from the garage. I don't want a key drop. I don't need a whole big shelf for my keys. I need a closet for my clothes. Anyway, so my advice is to do the 2 D's, declutter and divest. So I brought way too much stuff and it filled up every nook and cranny. And I even kind of had to go a little bit into Don's closet and he has a smaller closet and I have a really big closet and Don has a really big closet, but it's just a little bit smaller than mine. And so he got like, I don't know, maybe one small space for the pots and pans that he wants to bring. And Don loves to cook, so he's got his own cookware, and he has his own dishes and glasses and coffee makers and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have room for it. And I told him, there's no room for your pots and pans. And there's very little room for anything in the drawers because I have filled it up with my stuff. So the answer to our problem of too much stuff is I've already moved my stuff in, and so you're going to have to get rid of your stuff. Just get rid of it, Dawn, and then there'll be enough room for your stuff. I think he might have 2 or 3 drawers in the bedroom drawers, of which we have quite a few. He wasn't too happy about that, but I might have to amend my ways a little bit. And I guess it would be a nice thing to do, and I really don't need that stuff, but divest and declutter. Don't do what I did. Okay, my 5th observation is I really do love the location of Margaritaville. You can drop down, you just go down Highway 79, get into Panama City Beach so quickly. It takes me 18 minutes if I want to drive to the beach at Pier Park, and I really do like that beach because there are lifeguards. I love that you don't have to dip down into the traffic off of Highway 98 or even down to Front Beach Road. During season, if you need anything, you can, there's just closer areas. You can run over to Lynn Haven if you want to. You don't have to mess with the traffic. And once the season is over, like it is now, you can go visit 30A. There's lots of little day trips you can do up and down 30A and around the area, or over to Tallahassee if you want to go to Costco or Trader Joe's, which I'm going to want to do later. They're easy to get to. So I just love that about it. But the drawback is that there is no such thing as, oh, hey honey, can you run to the store quick and pick this up for me? Because there is no such thing as a 5-minute run to the store. The nearest, and I'm really thinking in terms of grocery stores, the nearest grocery store is Walmart and then Fresh Market. So there are 2, and they're probably 17, 18 minutes away, maybe 15 on a good moment. Not hard to get to, easy roads, but they're not here right outside the neighborhood. There will be a Publix soon. There'll be a whole little mall of shops, restaurants. I think Publix and the liquor store, and Publix also has a pharmacy. I hear this is going to be a tricked out Publix, which would be really nice. And the great thing is that we'll be able to ride our golf carts over there. And because Don, in his great wisdom, and I mean that sincerely, got us a 6-seater, which some people wouldn't agree with. They say they're a little bit too hard to maneuver. I don't care. I'm glad that I have that when my family visits. But I could, buy a lot of groceries, and I have plenty of places to put them on the golf cart to drive home. And that'll be a 5-minute trip away. But it's not here now. I don't even think that Publix is going to be here till at least the end of next year. So you have to plan accordingly on what you're going to buy. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at, at the minimum to pick up an item, probably a 40-minute round trip. So those are all my observations. Please put any questions that you have in the comments about things you'd like for me to address, any questions you've got. And I hope you guys have a great day. My name is Marla. This is My Third Act. My channel is My Third Act, and it's My Third Act at the beach. All right, in a few weeks I will be 70. This just goes to show you can have a vibrant life in your third act and really enjoy yourself. Y'all have a great day. See you next time.